Quarterfinal Thursday in Lafayette, Louisiana. Second straight day that the Chanticleers are suited up. Yesterday surviving their opening round matchup. Punching today's date with the Thundering Herd of Marshall. The 10 seed versus the 2 seed colliding with a berth into the semifinals tomorrow on the line here in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Sun Belt Championship. You're watching the Sun Belt Conference on ESPN. Day 2 in Lafayette on the campus of the University of Louisiana. The journey just now getting underway for the number 2 seed Thundering Herd of Marshall from West Virginia. Again, last year, the storied run for Coastal Carolina all the way to the championship final where they would punch their ticket into the NCAA tournament. They're going to have to once again go 4 games in 4 days if they're going to repeat here in 2026. Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage. Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose as another fun battle. But for Marshall, the Thundering Herd yesterday, they got to sit back and enjoy and scout their opponents here for today.
They did, and most certainly they were able to rest some of their arms, their players as well. So eager to see who comes out on top in this one.
Big reason why the Chanticleers are still fighting are their bats and the big barrel of Georgia Hood.
Yeah, most definitely. For Georgia Hood, she is the reigning home run queen here in the Sun Belt Conference with 22 so far on the season. This was the long ball we saw on display yesterday against Georgia Southern. Now, on the flip side of things, while we'll see Georgia Hood, we also have Sydney Burko for Marshall, who's coming in, and she does pretty similarly to what Hood is able to accomplish. Also, the second in Sun Belt Conference when it comes to 21 long balls, 18 multi-hit games so far on the year, and a team-leading slash line. So, these two, we have big bats coming up to the plate coming up next.
Burko, your transfer from Indiana, is your player and newcomer of the year this year in the Sun Belt Conference. Looking to make her mark this week here in Lafayette. When we come back, it's first pitch between Marshall and Coastal Carolina. The 2026 Sun Belt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sun Belt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. Let's take a look at our keys to victory brought to you by Visit Lafayette.
When it comes to Marshall, their goal throughout this outing is plate discipline. They need to be more selective. They've been a little too aggressive. They're bringing that Louisville Slugger mentality. They need to make sure they dial it back and, of course, stay disciplined. On the flip side for Coastal Carolina, when they hit spots, they find success. And on the flip side, too, whenever they're in the batter's box, they have been aggressive. They've been bringing the small ball. They've been able to get bunts down. And most importantly, we've seen some flair, courtesy of Georgia Hood, driving in the long ball. So some power on display as well. Eager to see what happens.
Marshall swept the weekend series this year against Coastal Carolina, but this is a rematch of last year's quarterfinal when then the 7th seed Coastal Carolina against Chanticleers, where the team of destiny, it would appear, in the Sun Belt. They knocked off Marshall. Marshall was 0 for 1 a quick exit in that conference tournament. Keith Hood and Normandin will be your top third of the order for the Chanticleers, trying to set the tone before Kaylin Cash bats cleanup. And Kelly Green at the helm of the 10 seed this week, your 17th year veteran head coach, as they will go up against Jules King in the circle.
Jules King is currently posing an ERA that's just under 3, has struck out 150 bats over the course of the season. When it comes to all the arms that are here for Marshall, they have had major development. We saw last year they were maybe 10th in SBC when it came to their total team ERA, and now currently sitting 3rd in the conference. So there's been a lot of development, a lot of discussions that have prepared them for this moment.
King, second team all-conference this year, joined in the battery by Darnley behind the plate. Of course, again, your Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year Burko at the hot corner, joined by Simpson, Atkins, and Gerlach in the infield. Hoskins, Leslie, and Blake in the outfield from left to right. Mentioned pretty soon you're going to be able to recite our umpires in your sleep. This is Marshall Niederhofer now. Niederhofer moving behind the plate. Heath Walker, Jenna Bouillon, and Johnny Paz out in the field. And it'll be a busy week for them. Things starting to warm up here after we got started this morning at 10 a.m. Temperature finally has reached 70 degrees. Humidity also working its way up as well. We did see a little bit of wind in that first game, as we saw a couple of memorable home runs, one apiece, including the comeback for Texas State in our first quarterfinal today, as they are the first team to trail and survive. Yesterday, Coastal Carolina coasted once they found a lead yesterday.
Well, hey, I like having a fun play on words there with coasted, but I feel like they really hit the gas. This is a team that can make a lot of movement happen when they're in the base pass, when they're in the batter's box. And now they have a challenge presented in themselves now against Jules King.
Second team all-conference Delaney Keith going up against second team all-conference Jules King. A great battle here to begin the second day of work for Coastal. Marshall got a first-round bye, as did each of the top 6 seeds. And a leadoff walk for Keith.
Yeah, Keith was fed a steady diet of balls there. Jules King trying to dial back in and get a sampling of the strike zone, see what's feeling good. Also acclimating to the energy and emotions that come through to finally being here today, taking on Coastal Carolina.
So Georgia Hood was the first player of the tournament to hit a home run out there in left center. And in case you missed it, that's how it's done. This time a 2-run blast for Georgia Hood. The 10 seed doesn't care what your expectations are for them. They've been playing single elimination softball, it feels like, for the past week and a half.
Georgia Hood is truly the engine of this team. She comes in with a soft stride. You can tell that she uses her lead foot almost as a counterweight to her load, and that's what's continuously brought her success, to sit back on pitches. But she came in with a game plan. She knew what she wanted to see from Jules King, and she got it and took it for an absolute ride. We're going to bring you the playback here, even working her barrel low in the zone to get underneath that ball. Nice lift, seeing it sail high and over the left field wall. It's her 23rd home run of the year that ties the program record for a single season. It's her second in as many days. So 52 career home runs for her. Here's Bree Normandin. Burko across the diamond to Gerlach, 1 away. Burko just making a routine ground ball, ground out there. Also a big bat for Marshall. When they get the opportunity to get back in, I think they're going to take this as a chip on their shoulder. Again, they were the last team in. They had to win their last 2 games. So again, they're already in playoff mode. Coastal Carolina. Here's Kaylin Cash, the DP. 1 out, nobody on. And already a 2-run home run from Georgia Hood here in the top of the first against Jules King. Cash, first team all-conference. The grad student. Among her stops, St. Joe's and Michigan State. Over the left side, Burko. And able to get back on the bag, Gerlach for out number 2. Cash getting a little jam there on the hands, courtesy of Jules King, who's trying to work her way back into this game. You have to hit the reset button after a long ball goes around to score 2. This could be the moment.
First pitch to McKenna Metzger, 5th bat of this inning for Coastal Carolina. And last year, the Chanticleers knocked off Southern Miss, Marshall, Louisiana, and then JMU, the 9 seed, who thought they had their own Cinderella story going last year at Troy, and that one just beyond the reach of the first baseman Gerlach. Trying to get out of this inning, but some damage already done. After the leadoff walk to Delaney King, she continued to walk around the bases as Georgia Hood brought her home.
It's pretty interesting to see the polar opposite storylines between these two. We've already talked previously for Marshall. They've been really to figure out things from inside the circle and pitching. And for Coastal Carolina, they lost Nicolette Picone, their ace that was in the circle, the senior that brought them so much success last year in the tournament to take home the gold. But this time around, they've been really trying to hit their spots. Haven't had an opportunity to see them do that just yet since they've been so dominant here at the plate.
There's obviously something to be said to have a bye and know that you're in the quarterfinal, but you're also guaranteed to be playing a team that's already picked up a win under their belt. As this one will float over into the glove of Gerlach, but not before. Georgia Hood, for a second time in as many days, goes yard here in Lafayette. Home half of the first inning, the number 2 seed this year, the Thundering Herd of Marshall. And, well, you're not going to have to wait long to see the woman voted top player in this conference, your player of the year and newcomer of the year, double dipping on the awards. The last time Marshall had a player of the year in their conference, the player's name was Morgan Zirkle back in Conference USA back in 2017. That's their head coach these days. And she's still playing, though not in college, but in the AUSL.
That's been such a major pull as they continue to recruit here for Marshall, is that you are actively working with coaches who continuously play or are involved with professional softball at the elite level. Head coach Morgan Zirkle did make a comment that, hey, when it comes to practices, you're not going to do anything that I wouldn't do. She tries to keep it pretty simple and to the game plan that she always does as she prepares for AUSL.
Abby Henderson in the circle for a second straight day after she came in relief, goes 4 2/3 yesterday. She got the win against Georgia Southern, her 8th win of the year. Allowed just 3 hits over those 4 2/3. So Perko leading things off. Again, just like Ayanna Coleman of Texas State did last year, winning both Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year when she came over from Texas A&M. Perko coming over from Indiana. Count 2-1.
Perko a little thrown off there by the off speed, wasn't necessarily expecting it, but with Henderson in the circle, a lot of people with softball get a little confused with how pitchers can work in back-to-back games, but essentially with the underarm throw, it's more of a natural motion versus overhand, so you gotta ice up and rest and you're feeling good, you can get back in.
She's already set the single season home run record for Marshall with 21. And it was a homecoming for her after going off and out of state to Indiana, as Morgan Zirkle has known her since she was 7 years old, being a local product in West Virginia. 3-1 out towards left, but it's not going to carry. Pippin has it for out number 1. Pippin joining the outfield along with Hudgens and Metzger. The infield of Keith, Normandin, Baxter, and your home run hitter Hood. And again, Henderson joining the battery by Izzy Ramirez. Marshall going 17-7 this year in conference. Their RPI coming into the week was at 27. They have built quite the resume. I think most teams feel like they need that automatic bid to have the committee call their name this weekend. Marshall could very well be an at-large, though they just assume claim a trophy at the end of the week. Ava Blake will lay off that, second team all-conference. Again, another West Virginia product. She actually had a home run earlier this year against Coastal. It was the turning point in a ball game. Part of that sweep. They rallied from 2 runs down in the 7th inning on April 11th with that 3-run home run from Blake.
It's a scary 1-2 punch that you get here from Marshall, especially looking at the numbers for long balls alone. Burko with 21, Blake with 17.
So again, Burko was retired on the fly out to left. A 3-1 count right now to Blake with Diamond Leslie on deck. Mentioned Abby Henderson in the circle for a second straight day. Kate Ryan got the start yesterday, went 2 1/3. And I think Blake was already taking her elbow guard off before that ball even got to the glove of Izzy Ramirez.
You know what, Lincoln, I do think you're right. I mean, that just goes to show the confidence that she exudes, her innate pitch selection. You can tell that she just really has a strong eye whenever she's at the plate.
So Marshall got yesterday off. This last weekend, they played JMU in a weekend series to close out conference play. They were still in the running for a conference regular season crown that would go to ULM. Diamond Leslie with 1 on and 1 out. And the first pitch strike called for Henderson.
Good for Henderson when it comes to first pitches. She's really been trying to dial it in and is able to secure strike 1.
Morgan Zirkle looking back at that series against JMU. Just thought hitters tried a little too hard, chasing too many pitches. Some of the other games, talking about game 2 and game 3, thought they hit pretty well in game 1. But again, if nothing else gets you motivated, this is the team that knocked her squad out last year when Troy was hosting in the quarterfinal. You can sweep a team in the regular season, but whoever wins this gets the last laugh in a single elimination format. She is still an active player. She says as a coach, all the time she's spending on film with her players is still making her a better hitter in her playing career this summer. And she'll resume with the Chicago Bandits. This one will get through, and you've got 2 on with 1 out. First hit of the game from Marshall. It's Diamond Leslie with a single.
Yeah, it seems as though they were trying to work her in low and away in the zone, try to see if maybe they could induce some soft contact there, but Leslie able to get her barrel around it and send it up the middle.
Well, while Marshall is wearing Kelly Green, your head coach of Coastal Carolina in her 17th year at the helm. And again, she's been there for all the good times, including last year's fantastic run, getting back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. And she was a 3-time All-Big Ten standout at Northwestern. When she graduated, was the all-time hits and RBI leader at Northwestern. Previously led Division II Lock Haven to a couple of national championships. Coastal up by 2 thanks to a 2-run home run in the top of the first from Hood. And while Abby Henderson was able to retire Sydney Burko, the second out's been hard to come by. Here's Bella Gerlach with 2 on. Tying run on first. And she will pull this one foul. Been so resilient. And while she is a senior, she does have one more year of eligibility next year that they are thrilled to have Bella back in 2027.
Gerlach needs to save some power for the rest of the set bat. She sent it.
Blake on second, Leslie behind her on first. And now the count progresses to 1-2 to the cleanup hitter.
Yeah, Gerlach already pushing 33 runs across running batters in, so someone who definitely has it in her to produce.
Tying run on base for Marshall. It's early here in the first inning, left side. They'll get the lead out, looking to turn two. They will. And that's how you get out of the inning after you got 2 on with 1 out. And that is the 10 seed this week, the lowest seeded team to make their way to Lafayette. And they are still your defending tournament champions from a year ago. On to the top of the second, Coastal Carolina's 2-run lead still intact. Libby Pippin will come up for the first time to see Jules King in the circle. Chanticleers didn't care what their seed was. They just wanted to be here, a chance to defend their tournament crown from a year ago. A little bit more uphill battle than last year when they did it as the 7 seed. They were the last team in this week. They dropped their first game. You know, they had to win games 2 and games 3 last weekend, but here they are.
Big swing and miss there. That'll come up there for Jules King. She'll sample different parts of the strike zone. She'll work east-west with some curves, some screw, and then try to change eye levels there, incorporating a rise. Last year, she really was utilizing that rise ball, but now she's tried to implement a few other things into her arsenal, for example, really stepping it up with a change.
So King just trying to keep this to a 2-run deficit. Marshall unable to claw anything back at the bottom of the first. Those those wins last weekend for Coastal weren't just any kind of wins, they were both walk-off wins. This is a team earlier this year that upset 15th ranked Arizona. Coastal's had a knack of winning close games, which is what you look for in a championship team. They are 8-3 in 1-run contests, 2-0 in extra inning games. 2 of their 3 walk-off wins coming last weekend. So Pippin, Ramirez, and Baxter, the minimum 3 due up here against Jules King. And the count goes full. In last inning, it was Delaney Keith with a leadoff walk, followed by the home run by Georgia Hood. Jules King not holding back. Gets her first strikeout victim. She's retired now 4 straight after the home run.
Just like King, Pippin here has been trying to make adjustments. You can see that she was putting her barrel out in front, just trying to get her eye levels back through the zone, feel good, get adjusted to different speeds here, but unable to capitalize.
Izzy Ramirez yesterday had a walk and a sacrifice fly for an RBI in that productive 3rd inning, in which Coastal Carolina scored 3 runs.
Just underneath that one, but crazy to think how quickly this count could go to no balls, 2 strikes. So really trying to get her head in the game here and get ready for whatever King's ready to throw.
And first time through the lineup for King. Just struck out Pippin for the first out. She's got Abby Darnley behind the plate, the senior recipient of the Warrior Award this year from Marshall. Goes to a senior each year. And Marshall last year finished 2nd in the conference with a 15-9 mark, only to be ousted by Coastal Carolina in the quarterfinal. As Ramirez keeps battling with 1 away.
King trying to work with different eye levels here. We saw her go low in the zone, skidded through the dirt up a little bit, and then working outside. So just trying to get back in, see what she can get her to bite at. This
one out of play, straight back. It's our 4th game of the week. And if we don't have enough softballs for our 4th game of tonight, we'll need someone who can scale up a net. Izzy able to lay off that one.
Definitely seeing the ball well, staying alive in this at bat. Just a short moment ago, the count was 0-2, runs full. Her hands were almost drifting towards the ball, but she was able to hold off on it. Some good eyes.
Easy to forget. Ramirez, just a freshman, down on strikes. That's back-to-back Ks for Jules King.
King's going to do everything she can to keep the offense guessing. They don't know what's going to come their way. She can throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, but it'll be that lethal rise ball that she's so accustomed to throwing that she knows she can throw to try to get a swing.
From a freshman now to a senior at the plate in the 8-hole, Moira Baxter. Baxter with a double and run scored yesterday, ultimately was 2 for 3. Also had a bunt single. Let's see if she extends this inning by squaring around.
And Moira Baxter is just an example of how much depth is truly in this Coastal Carolina lineup that we're seeing here today. Everyone coming up to the plate. She's versatile, works really low in that lower half as well.
King trying to work a perfect 2nd inning. That one hits off the bag. That makes the umpire's ruling easy. And it is a 2-out base hit for the 8-hole hitter, Baxter. 2nd hit today for Coastal Carolina, the first one that doesn't leave the park.
Here in this one, she was able to change the plane of her swing to get a hold of that one higher in the zone. It'll take a hard bounce through the infield, past the base, out into left. An obstacle on its way.
Gives way to Clara Hudgens, who was productive in the 9-hole yesterday in that win. An RBI single, along with a sac bunt factored in.
If we've learned anything today here, Lincoln, you need to make sure that it doesn't matter if you have a couple of runs up on the board. You have to continue to apply pressure.
JMU up until the bottom of the sixth, led 2-0. They had stranded 9 base runners, though, multiple innings with bases loaded. Never scoring more than 1 run in an inning. And all of a sudden, it went from 2-0 to 2-2. And by the end of the bottom of the sixth, it was 5-2 Texas State, who had JMU down to their final 3 outs. Dukes could not answer in the top of the 7th. As a result, Texas State is marching on and will play the winner of this game tomorrow. Currently, that first semifinal scheduled for 3 o'clock Central Time. Hudgens down on strikes. That's Jules King with 3 Ks in the second inning, stranding 1 along the way.
This one, 2 of which were done with the rise ball. This one here on the outer part of the plate, staying low. We'll see what she has in store when we get back.
Don't forget to enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. You can enter now at sunbeltsports.org. No strangers to hosting the Sunbelt Softball Championship. This is the 7th time Lamson Park in this community have been the site of crowning a postseason champion and punching a ticket to the NCAA tournament out of the Sunbelt. Abby Henderson getting the start today. We mentioned after 4 2/3 of great relief work yesterday in the victory in which she got the decision over Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern, they reflected back on their regular season against Coastal Carolina, just pleased that they didn't give a home run up in those 3 games. And sure enough, a home run was basically the undoing of them, with certain Georgia Hood factoring in both yesterday and now already today.
Well, I think if any movement is going to happen for this Coastal Carolina team, Georgia Hood will be involved right now, the reigning queen when it comes to home runs. 23 so far here in the season. This is
Tia Titi, the designated player in the 5-hole of the lineup. And she'll shoot the 1-2 offering. That's a tough hop, well snagged by Moira Baxter, 1 away. Remember, Marshall got a double play ball to get out of last inning to overcome a free pass and a single from Marshall. We're going to remind you of people's seeding throughout the week, but from what we've seen from the Sunbelt throughout this year and really over the years, once you're here, I think everybody believes they have a chance. Another quick snag in the hot corner. Delaney Keith this time, flashing the leather, 2 away.
Abby Henderson, as well as these infielders, are making quick work. Nice stop over by Keith, firing it down to 1.
Paige Simpson retired quickly. Here's Chandler Hoskins.
Yeah, but coming in as Henderson, this is the kind of start that you want. You were pitching in relief. Yesterday, you talked about how long she was in the circle for, but just keeping it moving quickly, trusting the defense here behind you, and even working in with a few first pitch strikes, seeing so in these back-to-back at-bats.
She threw 85 pitches yesterday, did Abby Henderson. Already over 100 now for the 2 days of work. That'll drop beyond the reach of Metzger. Again, the 3 losses this year were all at home against Marshall. Game 1, 6-3, game 2, 5-4, and then on that final matchup, 15-7 convincingly for the eventual number 2 seed Thundering Herd. But right now, it is Coastal Carolina up by a pair. And Georgia Hood doing what Georgia Hood does. The long ball, her second in as many days, ultimately tying the program mark in a single season with her 23rd. A 2-run blast today.
She saw what she liked immediately. First pitch, wasted no time getting her barrel on it.
Quickly giving Abby Henderson a lead to work with. And this is going to be a 3-up, 3-down inning as Hudgens able to squeeze that one in with ease. So a quiet bottom of the second. Quickly on to the top of the third, where Coastal looking for insurance.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
BK, ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv.
So all out-of-market games, live or on demand, plus all your favorite sports on ESPN. We need to tell the people, Carl.
We're doing it right now.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
Coastal Carolina heading into the top of the third. The 10th seed brought 5 to the plate in the first, 4 more in the second. So we're back to the top of the order here in the third inning with Delaney Keith, who led off this ball game with a walk and was promptly escorted home by the home run from her teammate who's on deck, Georgia Hood.
Well, that's nice to be hitting off in front of Georgia Hood. You got a chauffeur waiting for you whenever you get on base.
See if she can set the table again. Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose. Great to have you with us here in Lafayette. At Gerhart Field at Lamson Park.
One thing about Delaney Keith is she's so good at adjusting to different pitches wherever they be and a mixture of locations. She makes it seem effortless. Even if she's fouling a ball off, it's always impressive how she's able to meet the plane.
This was the second straight game that Keith led off with a walk and scored. She plated the first run yesterday. That would be the only time she would reach base, ultimately going 0 for 3 afterwards. But the rest of her teammates able to help guide them across the finish line with the win. That'll even up the count.
Those off-speed pitches can be absolutely killer when they're deployed well. Obviously, drawing the strike there is king. That's one of the most effective ways to affect the tempo of the bats.
And Chanticleers returning to the NCAA tournament last year, 6th time in program history, first time as members of the Sun Belt. And that one just doesn't break in time. That's going to set up Georgia Hood again with Keith on base following a walk.
Well, this could feel like deja vu. It's just up to Georgia Hood, and of course, if King is able to stop another potential long ball. But Hood, I mean, she gets it done in a slew of ways. Doesn't have to always be going yard, even though that's what she leaves the Sun Belt Conference in. We've seen her do it in a variety of ways, all hard hit balls.
52 home runs, have her top 4 all time at Coastal Carolina. And we remind you, she did not begin her college journey at Coastal. Came over from Pensacola State College. But yesterday moved into a tie for second with 22 home runs. Today a tie for 23rd. And I promise that's not a JMU Duke that has stuck around.
Huh, I don't think I was expecting that.
Just a reminder, it's hard to find an airline that'll let you check a bag for free. And that might be what gets left behind if they have to make room for a trophy on the way back.
Speaking from experience,
to Conway. Runner on first is Keith Hood at the plate. She's already done damage today.
King doing what she can to not allow Hood to score up on it. You could tell the first few pitches she was trying to dance on the outer part of the plate, maybe working a little higher in the zone. Has found a lot of success with that rise in seasons past. Hoping to accomplish that yet again.
The 2-2 from Jules King. The count goes full. Consider this my petition to allow Georgia Hood on her home runs to circle the bases the other direction on behalf of the Southern Hemisphere. 2-run home run in the first after Keith walked the first time. And this ball again out of play down the right field line. First team all-conference, Georgia Hood against all-conference pitcher Jules King. And King coming up the Division II ranks before transferring into Marshall. She was at Division II Tiffin. Runner on, nobody out, the payoff pitch to Hood, and that is ball 4. Back-to-back walks. That's not the worst thing that could have happened.
We said it before, Hood knows how to get on base in a slew of ways, and sometimes staying patient, watching pitches come in, being selective will pay off.
Now, after the Hood home run in the first, King would retire the next 5 batters for Coastal Carolina before allowing the next base runner. We'll see if she finds a groove here. There's still nobody out with Normandin coming up. Bree Normandin with a ground out to the left side back in the first inning. As Marshall staff talks things over. Drew Calloway is your first-year pitching coach. As you see the 2 arms, Maddie Veal and Paige Maynard over in the bullpen. Single elimination often leads to an earlier hook than you would usually go to during the regular season. But I mentioned Drew Calloway, first-year pitching coach. This team's ERA went from 10th in the conference last year to 3rd this year. It's big strides with him coming into the fold on Morgan Zirkel's staff.
There were a few question marks for Drew Calloway as he came in to be a part of this team with Marshall, one of those being Maddie Veal. She really only had 17 innings of work last season, ERA that was north of 9.
Bunt put down, only plays at first. That is your first out. The 2 free passes, though, now mean 2 runners in scoring position. Keith down to 3rd, Hood to 2nd after the sacrifice bunt from Normandin. 1 away.
You know, Coastal Carolina is a very fun team to watch whenever they get on the bases here. Bunt is down and doing your job, advancing the runners. But this is a team they're going to steal on you when you least expect it. They'll put the bunt down. They'll have some of their biggest hitters do that as well.
Back to Kaylin Cash. First pitch she sees to shallow center. And they were expecting the runner to come home, as Keith never drifted more than a few inches off that bag. But all of a sudden, there are 2 outs. And Coastal in danger of stranding 2 in scoring position. McKenna Metzger is their last hope here in the 3rd.
Keith knows when to turn on the afterburners, but also when to hold up and stay safe, and does so on 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, that ball shallow center. It's going to be hard to score. Tagging up. Metzger, an RBI single as part of a 3-run 3rd inning yesterday. See if she can add to her RBI total here. And winner faces Texas State, the 3 seed, tomorrow. JMU led the bulk of that game until they didn't. Georgia Hood trying to help out her teammate at the plate, Metzger, indicating where the catcher was setting up.
Very useful tool to be the eyes and ears while you're there on 2.
Keith on 3rd, Hood on 2nd, but right now Jules King just needs 1 more out. The 2 base runners both walked. A sac bunt and then a fly out for the next 2 outs recorded. Chance for King to get out of the inning, the 3-1. Metzger rips this one down the line, but foul.
Metzger really able to apply the heat there. Some nice pop. I always love hearing that through the net sound that we're getting on the broadcast. You can tell that this is a batter when they really square up on balls, they can fly.
Set a program record with 6 sacrifice flies this season alone. Not a luxury she has here with 2 outs. Libby Pippin on deck if Metzger can avoid being the 3rd out here in the 3rd inning. 2 outs, runners will go on contact, the payoff pitch, and they'll do it again.
As we continue throughout these games, the more that a batter is able to stay at the plate and continue to fight, oftentimes it could come out in their favor. King here looking to close it out.
Again, the 3-2, and it is bases loaded without a hit this inning. Keith walked, Hood walked, Metzger will join them due to lack of originality with a base on balls as well.
Well, Libby Pippin, she's been known to change the game with 1 swing, and this could be her opportunity here. As we mentioned before, previously JMU, they were able to have a 2-run lead, but Texas State able to come back in.
That ball gets away, but not far enough to risk ending the inning with the final out at home. They've been conservative, understandably, with Keith at 3rd and Hood on 2nd and Metzger at 1st. They don't want to take the bat out of the hand of Pippin. 8 home runs, 21 RBI coming into this week.
King here has to rise to the occasion. Locating her pitches will be key. Anything wild, they can score.
They plated 2 in the 1st. 2 of the few runs we've seen this week with less than 2 outs on the board. They'll need some perhaps 2-out production here. And Pippin an RBI double yesterday. Their biggest inning by far, the 3-run 3rd inning. That helped them seal the deal. Prolonged chat with the battery mates in the circle, and chance for the offense to chat as well. Maybe take a food order. See if they have.
No, I don't think that's the
No?
case. No.
You don't think they were going through the vegan options and?
Well, I'd hope for the gluten-free options.
Yeah.
But
Right now, Abby Darnley talking to Jules King. There's not been a hit this inning. There have been 2 batted balls, a fly out to center and a sac bunt. The law firm of Keith, Hood, and Metzger. Bases loaded, 2 outs. This inning can go one of 2 ways. No damage yet this inning. And that count's going to stay right where it was. Pardon me, 2-2.
Pippin also has a strong ability to draw walks, very selective when she's at the plate, very patient as well. Count's currently 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that one out of play. We talk about the home run capability of Hood and this Coastal lineup. 82 home runs this year and counting for Marshall. And Jules King gets out of a jam. Already down 2 runs, walks the bases loaded, and strands them loaded.
King dealing some heat, able to get out of a pretty sticky situation. Score will stay 2-0 as we come back.
Into the home half of the third. Again, Marshall right now, your number 2 seed, still battling for the automatic bid out of the Sun Belt. But you see, in terms of RPI, which is the easiest metric to use to predict what the committee is thinking about when they make some tough choices, Marshall and Texas State probably with the best chances of being at large bids should they not be able to claim the AQ. Of course, ULM, your regular season champions, but that's not what carries the AQ. That just puts them in pole position as your number 1 seed this week. We'll see them in action in a rivalry clash against, well, the host school. So how's that for being the number 1 seed? You get to technically play your first game as an away game.
Hey, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles.
This is why your university puts forth a bid to host. Kudos to Louisiana. Last year it was Troy. Abby Darnley at the plate. It's still just a 2-run deficit. Coastal Carolina's loaded the bases with 3 walks, but could not push another run home. Both runs coming home in that first. Darnley just now batting for the first time today. Up against Abby Henderson, who worked a very efficient 3 up, 3 down second inning.
Henderson continuing to perform well while she's in the circle, keeping the pitch count low and still going through the lineup here for the first time.
It'll be Darnley and then Atkins in the 9 spot for the first time, then back to the top of the order with Sydney Burko, who I know has been itching to get back to the plate. Two balls, 2 strikes. Henderson was hoping that Ramirez had done enough there to win the strike call. Instead, the count goes full. Mentioned 82 home runs for the team, as Darnley will walk. Second free pass today from Marshall. First time they've gotten their leadoff batter on to begin an inning. This is a Marshall team that at one point from mid-February to mid-April won 27 of their 30 games, really defining the season and putting them in position to be one of the top teams this week in the tournament. Morgan Zirkle's going to bring in a pinch runner for Darnley. Abby Darnley, before she goes to the dugout, though, with some words of wisdom for Haley Atkins.
Communication is so key, not just in the game of softball, but especially on an elevated stage such as this in the Sun Belt Conference Championship Tournament.
Sydney Turner, the product of Huntington, West Virginia. Local product, great speed. In fact, her mom, Laura McLaurin, was on the very first Marshall softball team back in 1994.
Continuing a family tradition.
Very cool.
It's also fun to hear as well from the coaching staff there for the Herd that the community just gravitates so well to this program. They love to show up, show out to all their games. I'm sure they're tuning in as well.
Time called. Runner on first, Darnley. Gives way to the pinch runner, Turner, after the walk to Darnley. That one in tight. That does not hit Atkins. And Burko on deck, wondering how many teammates will I have on base when I come up. If it's one, then she's the tying run at the plate. If it's more than that, chance to turn the table. But for now, Atkins in the 9-hole. A couple of tight pitches, runner is going, and into scoring position with the stolen base is Turner.
Turner accomplishing what she set out to do. Now this truly sets the scene for Atkins, runner in scoring position. Head first dive, getting in as fast as she can. May have gotten a skid there as well.
Yeah, it takes away the threat of a traditional double play ball. Marshall's already hit into one double play. Showing bunt, it is a strike on its own merit to Atkins. And unlikely squaring around again this plate appearance. Atkins started her career over at Miami University in Ohio. And that is strike three, one away. Can't bunt the runner over, but Turner was able to steal second to move into scoring position.
Yeah, Atkins wasn't too happy with that one, but I will say there in the 9-hole, she does have a lot of poise. She just thought she had a good read on it, dancing on the outer part of the plate. Great framework behind the dish, courtesy of Ramirez, but Henderson has just been dealing.
44 RBI on the year for Sydney Burko. And I believe, let's straighten out which way the violation goes. It is a delay on the pitcher. Count 1-0. And I think they chalk it up to a technical issue. Kids and their devices. Burko, third batter of this inning, comes up with Turner in scoring position. Burko representing the tying run. Your player of the year, your newcomer of the year in the Sun Belt, just a sophomore. 21 home runs, already a single season record for the Thundering Herd program. Just think of all the records that fell back in 1994 for Marshall and their softball program. First there was that record-setting first win, then that next win shattered the mark. Would have been a fun time for Laura McLaurin and company. 3-0 offering during all that blabbering. And Burko's gonna have to sit around a little bit longer.
You said it best. Sydney Burko has been itching to get back here into the box and finally has the ability to do so. 3-1 count. Eager to see what she does with the hitter's count now.
We saw Hood get walked with a runner on, and that was without first base available. Burko gets the walk. Similar fashion, they're not interested in pitching to her, despite living to tell about it back in the first inning on the flyout. Now 2 on, 1 out for Ava Blake. Blake walked back in the first, would be stranded in scoring position when it's all said and done.
Marshall Bats are able to get it done in a variety of ways here, drawing the walks. Burko, I mean, leading, one of the leaders in the Sun Belt Conference in home runs. Blake also up in that category as well.
Well, you'll forgive the dugout if it's a little quieter when Blake comes up to the plate. She is typically the hype woman for Marshall, for all of her teammates. See if she can inspire them with her actions here.
She does put on a pretty serious game face.
And a delay steal effort, and they will get her. No, they don't get the tag in time, and immediately asking for a review. As at the moment, looking for her second stolen base is Turner on the base paths. The throw got there first, and so did the tag.
Lincoln, that's a close one, I think. It's very smart to put this play under review. Look in with the glove.
Looked like she got the right hand. Again, you can understand our umpire did not have the best angle on it, and it is officially under review, being challenged.
The call on the field is safe at third base. Coastal Carolina would like to challenge that call. The previous play is under review.
We suspect that Turner will be out, as we think we've seen enough. Confirm the tag on the right hand.
Henderson caught off guard by that, but in a position where she can at least get the ball over. Keith working swift with the tag. Looks as though she gets that glove before it's able to touch third base.
By the way, that is textbook Delaney Keith. It is so easy to be called for obstruction, even though she is sincerely playing the ball being thrown to her, but she is setting up behind the bag so that there is no chance to confuse whether or not she is impeding the base runner's chance to get to that base. Ultimately snags the ball in her glove, and it looked like the first thing the right hand of Turner touched was the leather, and it's a quick review.
After review, the call on the field has been changed. The runner is out at third base. Coastal Carolina retains their challenge.
A well-used challenge. Give you one more look. The right hand, it looks like, hits leather before base.
Keith not lunging or overextending, making the swift tag in front of the bag to get the glove.
Remember, all of that was running when the catcher threw it back to the pitcher. Thought she had caught them sleeping. The delay steal almost lived to tell about it. Instead, here's Ava Blake now with just the one base runner over there at first. Burko with 2 outs. She still represents the tying run at the plate. Burko, the intentional walk.
Nice little adrenaline rush there for Henderson to get the out and then get back into it, throwing in a strike.
Left side, and just able to get that lead out to retire the third inning. So still a 2-run ball game here in Lafayette, our second quarterfinal of the day. semifinal matchups to take place on this field today. We have already seen Texas State with a comeback win earlier today to end the season of JMU. One of these two teams will see a great season come to an end. Of course, Coastal Carolina is on a bit of a winning streak in conference tournament play. They won 4 games last year to move on to the NCAA tournament. They added to that with a win yesterday. Bottom third of the order, Izzy Ramirez for a second time. Struck out last time up against Jules King. Jules has struck out 3 and walked 4. Pardon me. Struck out 4 and walked 4.
Ramirez is going to leave that one, quickly turning 0-2 the count. Always like a pitcher on catcher matchup for Ramirez. She's seen so many different pitches over the course of her career. Really able to dial in that experience.
Count 1-2. Lafayette, Louisiana, the site this year of the Sun Belt Softball Championship. Of course, a couple doors down over in Montgomery, Alabama will be the Baseball Championship. Less than a couple of weeks away. Both starting pitchers still in this one. Top half of the 4th inning. Marshall has earned the right to answer in the home half as the number 2 seed. But so far haven't had an answer for the 2-run home run from Georgia Hood back in the 1st inning.
Hood truly is a fixture in this lineup here for Coastal Carolina. Works so well behind Delaney Keith.
Hood already putting her name in the hat for all-tournament team. Caught looking, 5th strikeout now for Jules King. 2nd time she has retired Izzy Ramirez.
King definitely able to take a refresher after Georgia Hood's long ball, that 2-run blast we saw earlier in the 1st inning. Trying to continue to limit the damage that Coastal Carolina's been able to do, only securing these 2 runs off of, well, 2 hits, but we know which one did it.
Baxter with the bunt. She has the last hit, and now the next hit for Coastal Carolina. 1 on, 1 out.
Coastal Carolina can get on base in any way, and that was a beautifully placed bunt and a lot of speed. Barreling down first, Baxter.
She had the 2-out single in the 2nd inning. So she has the 2nd and 3rd hits of the ball game for the Chanticleers. It's Clara Hudgens who struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning.
Hudgens took the bait of the rise ball there, courtesy of King earlier in that inning. That's been a go-to put-away pitch for Henderson in the past.
And chasing after that one, 1-2 the count. And Ricky Woodard and the Bobcats have the benefit of now just sitting back and watching this one. Scouting out who their opponent in tomorrow's semifinal will be. Texas State, a 2-time Sun Belt Tournament champion since joining the conference in 2014. Last year, Coastal Carolina became just the 5th different program to ever win the Sun Belt Tournament title. We've put the graphic up. It is crazy. This is the 30th, I believe, tournament. And since Louisiana has won 18 of them, they only have 11 all-time losses in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. And there's another strikeout this inning for Jules King.
King is able to get Hudgens' number when she's come up to the plate, and both of her at-bats there, working low and away, bit of a break. Not thinking it was in the zone, Hudgens laid off it.
So back to the top of the order where Delaney Keith has walked twice today. Scored on the home run from Georgia Hood. But remember, bases were loaded in the third on nothing but walks. She was left stranded on third base. She's got a teammate over there on first, Baxter, who had the bunt single. And second team all-conference out of Nampa, Idaho. '53 home runs in her career, third all-time in program history. 49 doubles coming into this week. Had her at number 2 all-time. She's good for some extra bases on a regular basis, but has walked twice today. Runner going, throw down and safe. And at a better vantage point as Baxter is there, the same speed that allowed her to reach on the bunt, moves her into scoring position.
Hey, if there's ever a runner on for Coastal Carolina, you know that movement is about to happen. You have to be ready at all times, especially in situations when you think they're not going to go, they're probably going to go.
We talk about Keith has a knack for extra base hits. All of a sudden, if she can find one here, might be 3-0.
She truly affects the game on every line of the stat sheet with her power, her speed, and ability to get on.
2 outs, payoff pitch pending, so the runner will go. Underneath this, out towards right, short of the warning track when it's squeezed in by Ava Blake. So the Chanticleers will strand another runner. That's 5 left on today as they hang on to a 2-run lead. Well, we take a look at the teams that qualified this year for the Sun Belt tournament and just their all-time records. Obviously, 5 of those 14 for Coastal Carolina have been just in the last year plus, but just the Louisiana mark, just to only have 11 losses all-time in the tournament. They are the only program who has been in the Sun Belt Conference playing softball each year that a tournament has existed. They're going to be rejoined by one of the originals next year, Louisiana Tech. Great fit for the Sun Belt, renewing some Louisiana rivalries. This is Diamond Leslie, who singled back in the first inning before she was forced out on a double play. Abby Henderson was hoping for a little bit of more run support. This came back to haunt JMU. In our earlier game today, they led all the way until the home half of the 6th. Texas State just scored in 1 inning, but they put up a 5 spot in that 6th inning.
It did come back to haunt them, but I mean, in the case of JMU, they have somebody like Peyton List, right, who can be that two-way player, go in and Coming with that chip on their shoulder for Henderson. She just has to continue to trust her teammates, the defense behind her, and those bats when they get in the box. But right now, they'll hold on to that 2-0 lead and try to keep Marshall quiet.
Leslie puts this one in play. Keith at third will record the out into the glove of Hood in plenty of time.
It feels more oftentimes than not when anything goes down to the hot corner coming Delaney Keith's way, you know you're going to get the out, right? She has a phenomenal glove, great range, and also a leader when she's out on the field.
Unfortunately, it's not even a dry heat. Humidity is up there. Here's Bella Gerlach hit into a double play that ended the first inning. 0 for 1 today. Henderson gets the strike call. Tia Titi on deck. Hoping that Gerlach will be on the base paths. Abby Henderson was not made to pay for a couple of walks last inning. '85 pitches yesterday, about to throw her 55th today.
You wouldn't see any signs of fatigue from Henderson. She's someone who continuously, I would say, step up to the plate, but I guess in this case, head into the circle.
And came in relief yesterday to help shore things up in the circle. That one just misses outside to Gerlach. 14 home runs this year for Bella, 33 RBI. And the senior will have another year of eligibility next year. Got her. Second strikeout for Abby Henderson in today's start.
That is a big swing and miss there for Abby Henderson. She just continues to fuel the fire. She is dealing there inside the circle, looking to keep these Marshall bats quiet.
See if Tia Titi can make some noise. The DP for Marshall. They love her big energy. See if she can spark something here with 2 outs.
Well, she has big energy. She also has a big bat. She's actually boasting a strong slugging percentage that's just north of .483.
First 2 batters retired in order, a ground out and a strikeout of the 3 and 4 hole hitters. TT in the 5 spot today. Marshall playing its first game of the week, hoping it'll be followed by a second game. Tomorrow in the semifinal, it would be against Texas State. We've had so far just one upset. Nobody in Conway, South Carolina upset about it. As the 10 seed still battling here in Lafayette.
Well, you bring up Texas State. I think Marshall needs to take a play out of their book as well to turn on the afterburners here in the later stages of the game.
Two outs, nobody on. The 3-1 to TT. That's an easy one to take. There'll be no 3 up, 3 down inning as Tia is on.
All it takes is one. TT now on first, bringing up Paige Simpson to the plate, who's a valuable contributor.
4 of the 5 base runners today for Marshall have reached via walk. They just have 1 hit. It was Diamond Leslie with a single back in the first. Here's Paige Simpson, who grounded out to the left side back in the second inning.
Henderson able to shake that one off, work in for a first pitch strike. TT having a few conversations, maybe noticing something over there at the plate.
I like the Canadian just kind of dipped her toe into American softball, starting off at Idaho State before making her way over to the state of West Virginia as a transfer. Everything they get from her offensively is gravy. She's such a defensive weapon for them at shortstop. Hitting just under 300 on the year. Runner on first with 2 outs. Count evens up. Only runs in this game, the 2-run spot in the top of the first. When Georgia Hood, for a second straight day, left the ballpark. Today, she went around the bases with a friend after yesterday was a solo blast. Full count. This is after a 2-out walk a moment ago to Tia Titi.
Henderson has been doing a great job of keeping these Marshall bats in check. She cannot let her foot off the gas now.
Simpson trying to extend the inning here. Down on strikes. Henderson will strand another Thundering Herd base runner. Faces one more than the minimum in the fourth, overcoming another walk. And again gives her Chanticleers a chance to tack on some insurance. Already up 2.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country. A melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sunbelt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Jules King, 6 strikeouts today in her start. Both starters still going strong in this one. And she gets the first nod of the week for the number 2 seed Thundering Herd.
Those rise balls have really worked well in her favor, as well as some of those breaking pitches continuing to keep batters off balance. But Coastal Carolina, as you know, when they get on base, they can do some damage. Currently with a 2-0 lead, courtesy of Georgia Hood, who didn't need to do anything fancy on the base pass, just go yard.
Why would you mention Georgia Hood? Oh, wait. She will be leading things off here in the 5th inning, have yet to be retired. They even walked her with a run on first back in the 3rd. Lived to tell about it. Bases would be left loaded that inning. This after her 2-run blast in the 1st. See what they have in mind for Georgia here. Hood, Normandin, and Cash, the 2, 3, and 4-hole hitters. In Jules King, those strikeouts have helped her strand 5 base runners today for Coastal through the first 4 innings. Last year, they would go on to the NCAA Regional in Durham, North Carolina. This one out towards center. Leslie underneath it, 1 away.
It's a sigh of relief when Georgia Hood is sent back to the dugout, someone who can actually hit home runs with balls that are off the plate. So to get her just a little underneath it, send it up high to the sky rather than through the ballpark, is always a major plus to get the out.
Again, Hood is tied for the single season mark for Coastal Carolina in home runs. Next one would set a new standard in Conway. Here's Bree Normandin. Sack bunt back in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1 today. Well, whoever wins this ball game, their starting pitcher's done them a great service, saving the rest of the arms on the team, at least up until now.
We've seen a lot of great arms come through here in the last 2 days. Sage Hoover also comes to mind for Louisiana. That there's a potential we may see later.
Yeah, best best starting performance overall. Her first complete game of the year. What timing that was yesterday in the victory. 1 point retired 15 straight batters. This one will get down and right, thinking extra bases is Normandin. There's a little trouble in the corner, and it's going to be a triple. Here in the 5th inning with one out, Normandin. Surely they can bring her home the final 60 feet for some insurance.
Normandin able to rope that one over there on the right side of the field. Some hard hop. It'll sneak by the first baseman, flying over. And that just goes to show what she's able to accomplish in her previous at-bat. She was able to get down the sac bunt, so to see her come in with some pop is absolutely stellar.
So the one-out triple. Here's Kaylin Cash, the cleanup hitter. We'll see how a runner on third affects the pitch selection for King and her catcher Darnley. Can't have too much in the dirt. And not even halfway through our Thursday here in Lafayette. Up next will be the regular season champions, ULM. Finally able to get that elusive regular season crown that slipped through their grasp last year in the final weekend. They will take on Louisiana. We mentioned the reward for the regular season champs is coming here to the home of the Ragin' Cajuns. I'm not sure if ULM will get to be in Louisiana's dugout. Might not feel right. And tonight, both Southern Miss and South Alabama with a bye yesterday, the 4 versus 5 matchup. We'll round out our quarterfinal coverage here on ESPN+. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kaylin Cash with a runner on third and a full count.
Cash is going to leave that one high and away. Cash, similar to Coleman, who we'll see with Texas State, can really do some damage. In only 128 at-bats, she's posted 14 home runs, so essentially 1 in every 9-10 at-bats she'll go yard.
And both teams have benefited from free passes, though it's only cost Jules King once. It was the very first batter she walked back in the first inning. Delaney Keith, who scored on the home run from Hood. Now runners on the corners for someone who also has already walked today, McKenna Metzger, and see if they run for Cash here. They will. First time they sub the DP out. With 1 out, runners on the corners. As Kendall will run for Cash. Leah Kendall, the freshman out of Apex, North Carolina. Second straight day we see her. Apex is near Cary, North Carolina, which is near Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina.
McKenna Metzger is coming in, and she's not someone who has the highest average here on the team, but she's a big home run hitter, as well as putting up some big RBI numbers with 43 ribbies entering this tournament. 4th batter this inning.
First one was retired. Of course, that was a big out, Georgia Hood, the fly out to center. But since then, a triple for Normandin and a walk for Cash with Kendall running for her. If nothing else, that's just trying to eliminate a double play threat. That would negate a run counting if Normandin otherwise were to cross home plate. It's already been 100 pitches for Jules King. Optimistic this will stay playable. It does not. Gets out behind Chanticleers.
Chanticleers with the opportunity to get some insurance runs here. Runners on the corners, only 1 down. And 1 through 9 truly poses a threat here.
Left side snagged. That's a fair ball, and everybody's safe. Now, because it was right there at third, you saw Normandin couldn't drift very far away. Kindle down to second, and it's an infield single by Metzger.
Nice work with Metzger. Hard chopper that's going down third base side, trying to stop it with the backhand is Burko. But she'll get the quick look. Normandin knows that she can't test this one. That would not come up in her favor, but now bases are loaded.
Second time in the last 3 innings, Coastal Carolina has loaded the bases. Here's Libby Pippin, who came up with them loaded in the third. Jules King has struck out Pippin twice today.
Libby Pippin is due. You can tell she wants this badly. An amazing opportunity. Any batter welcomes this moment. Less pressure with there only being 1 out.
Normandin on third, Kindle on second, Metzger on first. And Jules King cannot afford a 6th walk with no place to put him. And she has also struck out 6 in this ball game.
Pippin, she's a trusted bat whenever she's in this lineup. The coaching staff, has belief that she's going to work out if she ever has a slump or any sort of situation where she may not be performing to her elite level. She needs some pressure.
Top half of the 5th, Coastal looking to add to a 2-run lead. Then that one will do it. A grand slam for Libby Pippin. Insurance aplenty here in the top of the 5th for the number 10 seed.
Libby Pippin being welcomed by her teammates there, and she's someone who adds depth to this top-heavy lineup. We see it right there, back-to-back strikeouts as she was coming into this ball game, easily sending that with power high to the sky over the right field wall. Just sit back, was able to channel that aggression into some base pop.
Both literally and figuratively puts a dent on the scoreboard. The grand slam home run will be the last pitch from Jules King. She'll give way in her start. We'll introduce you to the first arm out of the bullpen this week for Marshall. Libby Pippin, the grand slam. A 4-spot here in the 5th inning. And Coastal Carolina likes their chances of perhaps a 6th straight win dating back to last year in Sun Belt tournament play. Just about every game they've played has been as an underdog. Last year a 7 seed, this year the 10 seed. We mentioned they didn't qualify until the last game of the year. This is Paige Maynard, who will be looking for the elusive second out this inning. Remember, the inning began with a quiet flyout from Georgia Hood to shallow center field. Since then, a triple, a walk, a single, and a grand slam.
Paige Maynard coming into the circle now, but I think that's such a neat moment. All of them are coming together as they're getting set, but they were smiling. They were all conversating, maybe going over the game plan, words of encouragement. They're not showing signs of concern over being down by 6 runs. As we know in the game of softball, things can change on a dime, and it's up to Paige Maynard now in the circle to hopefully stop the bleeding.
Well, how about this return on investment? 1 pitch to Izzy Ramirez, and there's your second out that you've been looking for. Paige Simpson able to secure it. That'll bring up Moira Baxter.
Baxter, no stranger to the base paths here in today's game. 2 for 2. 2 singles and also able to pull off stolen base.
Second pitch in relief from Maynard. Whew. Put some ice on that arm. 2 pitches, 2 outs to get out of the inning, but not before. A grand slam crushed off the bat of Libby Pippin. In Marshall's quest for a championship. Last year that was at Troy, this year here in Lafayette. Lincoln Rose, Jenna Rose with you. Time for Marshall to get to work. Bottom half of the 5th, all of a sudden that deficit has grown to 6. And it's bottom third of the order due up for just a second time now.
This is a lineup that has the capability. We just go back to Coach Zirkle's words where she wants her players to be more selective over what pitches they swing at. This one coming in for a first pitch strike from Henderson. So really just locking in, ready to roll, and maybe attacking early wouldn't hurt either. Hoskins laughing that one off.
So Abby Henderson, presumably the stress level has gone down a little bit from wherever it was when it was a 2-run lead that she was working with. Every pitch she has thrown today has been with an advantage on the scoreboard. That advantage tripled with a 4-run top of the 5th. So Hoskins, Darnley, and Atkins, the bottom third of the order, due up here for Marshall. After a fly out back in the 2nd, it'll be a fly out to right. Here in the 5th, 1 away. Last starting pitcher still in this game. After Jules King gave way to Paige Maynard, who threw 2 pitches, got 2 outs.
Nice effort by Hoskins, who was at the plate, adjusting to the change in speed, just lifting it a little too high.
Abby Darnley walked back in the 3rd before they ran for her with Turner. Turner stole 2nd. Initially thought she had stolen 3rd on a delay on the catcher's throw back to the pitcher before a successful challenge by Coastal Carolina. That one hit the umpire without taking any kind of deflection off the catcher, and that's why umpires are so kind to catchers, buying them time, because there was nothing slowing that pitch down. Get some emotional support. It'll be a moment before Abby Darnley sees the next pitch from Abby Henderson.
They're laughing it off. ready to get back to action. Kudos to all the umpires that are on site with us today, and of course, working throughout the Sun Belt Conference.
Well, we talked about how Coastal Carolina, by fine margins this year, was surviving one-run ball games. They've given themselves a bit more of a cushion today. See again, today Marshall Niederhofer finds himself behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. As I believe we have 8 umpires in town. We'll see our morning crew back for our 3rd game of the day. Look, excuse me, swing, that's a fair ball. And next thing you know, that's a base runner. I think Abby Darnley initially looked at that and thought, oh darn. Next thing you know, she's on the base paths.
Hey, that's why you always give your best foot forward as you're running down to first base. You never know what's going to happen. A bit of a bobble, just not even really going to extension there, more of a check swing.
It is an error, as Hood otherwise could have underhanded that ball to a teammate for the out. Haley Atkins struck out looking back in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1 today.
Even rounding out the order here for Haley Atkins, she's actually someone who has some sneaky power. 15 extra base hits with 5 home runs and 9 doubles over the year.
Henderson hoping for the call. And what would be a 4th strikeout on the day. Two and two.
Henderson truly has been doing an amazing job over the course of this outing. We saw glimpses of her yesterday, a little over 4 innings of work in that outing, helping Coastal Carolina secure the win over JMU.
Quick time called by Henderson. Punched up to shallow center, and no place for the runner to go, 2 away. Back to the top of the order, and for Marshall again, that means back to Burko. Flied out to left in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Has not been able to influence this game the way she has much of this season as your player of the year in the Sun Belt. And it very much cannot just be the Burko show down the stretch. They trail by 6.
Burko is a bat that truly barely ever swings and misses when it comes to these at-bats. So she's always going to put up a great fight, barrel up balls. We've already seen her send one to the outfield with power and draw a walk as well, professional presence.
The 2-0 with 2 outs and a runner on, 3-0. And Abby Darnley wondering if she's about to be standing on second base after the unlikely opportunity to be standing on first base. On a ball that found her bat. They're going to let Burko stick around.
Nice work there by Henderson to get back into the zone, but it's funny as the game continues to go on. You can look back at that play and say that could have been the moment.
And reached on the air. Darnley on first. Now Darnley on second. There's been no shortage of walks today. Total of 6 hits in this game, 6 of them belonging to Coastal Carolina. Just 1 for Marshall. Their only hit was in the 1st inning from Diamond Leslie. They have walked 5 times. including Ava Blake with the first walk today. In Blake's second team all-conference, as announced 2 days ago, along with the individual awards and the first team honorees. And she had a home run in that series against Coastal. There were a lot of long balls in those 3 days between the two teams. All of the headliners showed up over those 3 days. As that one fools Blake. Bailing out on a pitch down the middle.
Henderson able to regain control of this at bat here. Exactly what you need to do against Marshall as they put a few runners on board.
Fifth batter here in the fifth, including Darnley on second, Burko on first. Abby Henderson's been a little more economical with her pitching than the since relieved Jules King, who was in excess of 100 pitches when she came out. Just trying to paint that outer edge to get out of this inning, but the count goes full. Only third base unoccupied.
Henderson keeping it close. She's not shy to push the limits there.
Two on, two out. Payoff pitch. Just gets the inside black front of the plate. As Abby Henderson gets a strikeout to put an end to the threat from Marshall.
Henderson proving to be a big arm here for this Coastal Carolina team, ready to continue to push the limits.
Well, it all began back in the first. Georgia Hood with her third home run this year against the Thundering Herd. That was a two-run shot. That was child's play compared to what we would see later on in the fifth inning when bases happened to be juiced. And then they were cleared. Libby Pippin with the grand slam.
Libby Pippin, she brought that chip on her shoulder coming in, had strikeouts in both at-bats, ready to rock. This is a bat that coaching staff trusts. They knew that she's able to dig out of any slump and did just that.
Abby Henderson, every pitch she's thrown today has been with a lead. She's working with a one-hitter against the number 2 seed, Marshall. We mentioned Marshall, 82 home runs on the year. They can do a lot of damage. Their bats have been held fairly quiet so far. Can they take a page, as you noted, out of the playbook that we saw from Texas State? And that's flipped this game on its head. The difference is the Chanticleers have found much more run support than the Dukes did of JMU when they led just by 2 going into the bottom of the 6th. And that's a foul ball, and that is a market inefficiency by our relief pitcher, Paige Maynard, who before that was getting an out per pitch. She's going to have to do double the work at least here to get the first out of this inning.
He's showcasing her speed, though, already getting down to first base, barreling down the line.
Clara Hudgens has struck out twice today. Both of those were against Jules King. There we go. 4 pitches, 3 outs to show for it for Paige Maynard. And she wants to get Marshall bats back to the plate as quickly as possible.
And now we go back to the top of the order with Keith.
Laney Keith had a home run in the second game in that series against Marshall. And Marshall would go to Conway and sweep the home squad. Coastal trying to win the most important game of the year between the two. Paige Maynard, not a fan of offense. 2 away.
Bella Gerlach with the quick recovery there over down the line. Slight bobble, but able to reconvene, get over to one, and get the out.
Maynard, the
2 down.
Senior who started at Penn State, for making her way over to Marshall. And here's Georgia Hood. Would Paige be bold enough to pitch to her? She does. How about that snag? Paige Simpson across the diamond, but Hood with the speed to reach for a third time today.
Wherever Hood sends the ball, she's going to send it with power. Working really hard there was Simpson over at short. Very nice stop, recovery. Already able down the line was Hood.
Easier to pitch to Hood when you have retired the 2 batters in front of her. Here's Bree Normandin. Tripled and scored last inning on that grand slam ultimately. And also a sac bunt today and a ground out. 1 for 2. Shot out towards left, and that'll do it. 9 pitches to retire. 5 batters in relief for Paige Maynard. She's doing her best to keep the deficit right where it is at 6, but Marshall down their final 6 outs. The 2026 Sunbelt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sunbelt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sunbelt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. Only upset we've seen this week was yesterday. Coastal Carolina over Georgia Southern. They had so much fun doing it, they'd just assume do it again today. Today at the expense perhaps of the number 2 seed Marshall. Marshall still has at least 6 outs to work with as the home team here in the bottom of the 6th and then the bottom of the 7th. Diamond Leslie will try to get things started against your starting pitcher. Still going strong, Abby Henderson. First pitch over the left side, Bree Normandin across the diamond to Hood, and now Marshall down to 5 outs.
Speaking of going on strong there for Henderson in the circle, working with the lower quadrant of the strike zone, able to induce some soft contact there from Leslie, who was trying to stay aggressive early on. That'll bring up the next bat in Gerlach.
And Gerlach 0 for 2 today, coming up just now for a 3rd time. Not cheated on that one. Gets to Keith in a hurry so fast. that she's able to just slap it down and still has time to make the throw. 2 away. Maybe there's such thing as hitting a ball too hard.
Delaney Keith, I mean, she just gets it done when she's in the batter's box as well when she's on the defensive side of things, making it look easy. The exit velocity off that one, striking, but quickly makes the stop. And the grab too, bare hand.
Two quick outs in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Tiatiti, who walked back in the 4th. Marshall has now left 5 on. Just 1 hit today. As again, back in the 1st inning from Leslie. Henderson was one of your heroes yesterday in that upset, coming in relief, going 4 2/3. 85 pitches yesterday, 95 in today's start. If Izzy Ramirez isn't set up outside, might actually get the call on that pitch.
I was going to say that was a really phenomenal effort there by Henderson.
Instead, it's a 3-0 count. Yeah. Batter was closer to the plate. That was a strike. Just got to extend this inning any way you can, but that's not going to do it. Pippin has it. 3 up, 3 down is the response from Abby Henderson, trusting the defense behind her. Coastal goes to grab their bats, looking to tack on some late insurance in the 7th. On to the top of the 7th. As again, yesterday is Coastal Carolina knocking off Georgia Southern, the host Louisiana, hoping to win 4 games in 4 days in front of their home crowd here in Lafayette. They shut out Troy. Texas State with a comeback in the bottom of the 6th after trailing James Madison at the time 2-0. Put up a 5 spot to win it. And Coastal Carolina is hoping to find their 2nd upset in as many days to move on to the semifinal tomorrow against those Bobcats. And after this, it'll be the in-state rivalry between Louisiana and your regular season champion Warhawks of ULM. That is a rivalry that predates the Sun Belt. South Alabama and Southern Miss will be our nightcap tonight. I love that for them. South Alabama and Southern Miss, their fans are going to stroll in. It's going to be a brand new experience for them. It's already going to be the 6th game in 2 days, the 4th game of the day.
It's funny, I was going to jump in after you read off the Louisiana game, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't want to get in the way of you talking about the nightcap, so didn't mean to leave you hanging there.
We will be well caffeinated.
Yes.
And you will be welcome to jump in as often as you want by that time.
Lincoln.
I may not even re-enter. I may just sub out and be a spectator the rest of the way. Here's Kaylin Cash. Walked back in the 5th. She did re-enter after they ran for her. And Paige Maynard, very efficient in relief. The problem was Abby Henderson then realized, oh, maybe I can work some efficient innings, and quickly got Coastal to the top of the 7th. 6 runs on 7 hits today. 6 additional runners left on. including bases loaded back in the third. When they loaded the bases in the fifth, Libby Pippen happened with a grand slam. We've seen a lot of power for Coastal, not a lot of grand slams in recent years. There have been a couple that stand out.
Oh, now since you mentioned it, actually one of the last times that Coastal Carolina has seen a grand slam was Georgia Hood, none other than one of the top bats here in this lineup versus number 10, Florida State.
Two, now a full count to Cash. I think before that, another postseason grand slam for them in the NCAA tournament. Again, Marshall's just hoping it's only a 6-run deficit in the bottom of the 7th. Another leadoff walk. This time it's Cash. Her second straight walk today.
Coastal Carolina, they can get on base in a variety of ways, and at this time, even for somebody who predominantly displays a lot of pop in their bat, has some of that home run power, they can be selective and sit back as well.
The day is done for Kaylin Cash, as Kelly Green's not just going to rest contently with a 6-run lead against this potent lineup of Marshall that they happen to have one hit so far. It will pull Cash. And I believe, yes, it will be Emma Skovran, the junior, who will come in to run.
But that's what good teams do here, Lincoln. They make sure that they continue to apply pressure. They don't let up. Doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard.
Metzger has reached her last 2 times up. Singled in the 5th when she scored on the grand slam. Before that, had walked in the 3rd. And Emma, a junior. Left side, fluid. And a double play for the Thundering Herd. To wipe the bases clean, 2 outs.
I mean, the base is clean indeed. Paige Maynard very happy with that one. See there, Metzger able to bring that one to her pull side, but that'll be a chopper over to 3, and they'll do what they do best and turn those double plays.
I mean, the thing about the walk to Cash is that was almost as many pitches as she's thrown to every other batter she has seen combined, but she knew she'd get that double play ball on the one pitch. And now you can again pitch to Libby Pippen, who's most recently your most dangerous hitter in the lineup for Coastal.
One obstacle after the other.
Grand slam in the 5th.
Pippen's going to leave that one there. Count total goes to 2 balls, 1 strike.
And that was her 9th home run of the year.
Not a bad time to record another one, was it?
Has her up to 25 RBI this year. Pippen gets good barrel on this one, out to right. It's just a ho-hum single, but it extends the 7th inning.
Libby Pippen has just been seeing the ball so well in her last 2 at-bats. Stark difference than what we saw her earlier in today. 2 separate strikeouts.
I feel like this is a good moment in the game for Coastal just to practice trying to be productive with 2 outs, run on first. Can you start to string some things together regardless of whether or not it impacts the outcome of this game? Obviously, they do want more insurance in this game with their season very much on the line, as Marshall will have a chance to bat last, whether it be here in the 7th or in extra innings. Ramirez 0 for 3 today. Popped out on the first pitch she saw from Maynard back in the 5th. She started the trend of 1 pitch and an out recorded. Ramirez gloved by Maynard. And that'll do it. Coastal will strand a base runner. Marshall has 3 outs to work with in the bottom of the 9th. The number 2 seed on the ropes here in the Sun Belt. Abby Henderson pitching for a second straight day with a season on the line for a second straight day. And again, went to work yesterday against Georgia Southern in relief 4 2/3, 85 pitches, able to guide them across that finish line, and hoping to do so again today in her start against the number 2 seed Marshall. See her numbers today. And has not had to pay for those 5 walks. Anytime she's trusted the defense behind her, they have been there for her.
Just like they have been in the batter's box, right? Able to put up 6 runs here off of 8 hits.
Paige Simpson will get things started, 0 for 2 today. Playing Abby Henderson for a 3rd time. It's the 6, 7, and 8 hole hitters due up. 3 batters scheduled are a combined 0 for 5 with a walk and an error factored in, allowing Abby Darnley to reach base a couple of times. She's due up 3rd. Those outs in the 6th inning were just surrendered way too quickly. Going from a margin of 6 outs to work with, all of a sudden now down to their final 3 here in the 7th.
This could be a defining moment here for Paige Simpson, just needing to dig down deep and attack.
She is one of the seniors. And again, the nature of these postseason tournaments, you put those school colors on and you never know if you're going to get to do it again the next day. The 2-2 from Henderson to Simpson here in the 7th. Fifth strikeout for Abby.
Abby Henderson has been able to do so much from the circle here today, and of course yesterday as well. This strikeout has actually earned her a season high.
It gives way to Chandler Hoskins. A couple of flyouts today to center and right field. But not helping Abby Henderson on that one. Getting back on this after 2 hops. Normandin still plenty of time, 2 away. And Marshall in jeopardy for a 2nd straight year, coming into the conference tournament as your number 2 seed, narrowly missing out on the regular season crown and possibly exiting against the same foe. Last year it was the 7th seed Chanticleers who knocked them out. This year, the 10th seeded Chanticleers threatening to do so again. The Chanticleers perhaps tomorrow will be Texas State's problem. And Marshall still with an out to work with here in 2026. Out of play, 2-1.
Darnley just underneath that one. Count rolls to 2 balls, 1 strike. All it takes is a capable swing, put a ball in play, work through with a single to keep this alive for Marshall.
Henderson has retired the last 6 batters in order, dating back to the 5th inning. Just allowing 1 hit all the way back in the 1st inning today. She already had a lead to work with at the time. 2-1 to Darnley. Out of play, count even. Remember, Darnley had that accidental ball batted into play. Next thing you knew, she was standing on first. Eventually would move into scoring position. One of 5 runners left on today. 2 outs, payoff pitch with nobody on. Hood will squeeze it, and Coastal is coasting back into the semifinals for a 2nd straight year here in the Sun Belt. The last team in is a win away from being one of the last teams standing in Lafayette.
Abby Henderson has filled such a huge void for this program. Nicolette Picone was the star ace that got them through the tournament this same time last year, and has truly continued to push her limits, push her numbers, and come out victorious. As we mentioned, she's established a new season high in strikeouts and has continued to be such a reliable presence here for Coastal Carolina, who is continuing to put balls in play and make things happen out on the base pass.
Abby Henderson, the complete game as they return the favor after being swept in the regular season by Marshall. All the scoring on 2 home runs. Georgia Hood with a 2-run blast in the 1st. And then the insurance, the grand slam from Libby Pippin. We're midway through our 4 quarterfinals today. Coastal Carolina ends the season for Marshall, who now will wait to see if the committee calls their name based on the strength of their RPI in the top 30. For Jenna Rose, I'm Lincoln Rose. When we come back, our 3rd quarterfinal today, as it'll feature the regular season champion Warhawks of ULM and the host, Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana.